Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA, episode 483. I am Brendan. UFC Fight Night, Burns versus Morales. Not exactly the most premier fight card or even premier headliner. There just not a lot of excitement, not a lot of hype over this card. But I watched it anyway, so you don't have to. It actually wasn't a slog. It wasn't too bad. If you do like this kind of thing, we're going to break down all these fights, go through them round by round. If you like that, subscribe to the channel. That way the next video is coming out. I'd really appreciate it. Let's just start with Gilbert Burns versus Mike Morales. Let's get right into it. So, again, like I said, oh man, this one's hard. So, like, I've been forgetting lately to tell everybody kind of how the card went, whether I recommend going to watch it. This one's a tough one because the fights were fun relatively. They were fun to watch. There were a lot of very good fights. It's just there wasn't a lot of, like I said before, like I said at the beginning of this not a lot of hype. There wasn't a lot of implications. Like, yes, Burns what was Burns ranked? Eighth. Okay, eight versus 12. Yeah, it puts Morales into the top 10. Likely, if Burns wins this, is he going back in the top 5? Unlikely. I just don't see it, man. Sorry, not for Burns. But Morales, great up and coming talent. 170 is just a murderer's row of great fighters. So what I'm hoping for is some good challenges in the top 5. Nobody jumping the line. We can't have any of that crap. We have too many good fighters now. Anyway, before this fight, there wasn't a lot of hype. There was the UFC. Like, usually the card after a pay-per-view is kind of a whatever. They just throw it together. It needs to be done. These fights needed to happen. This stuff, it does move the divisions forward. I get that. It just wasn't that exciting going into it. Now, did they deliver? Absolutely. If you are interested in watching fights just for the quality itself and not for the implications in the divisions or who's getting a title next or any of that stuff, I mean, this whole card, prelim and all, I would recommend going back and watching this stuff. Anyway, this fight started out relatively slow. First minute, not much going on. Both guys landing some low kicks at range. Morales is able to land that right hand, keeping Burns on the outside with that jab halfway through the round. It looks like Morales is hitting harder, so Burns goes for that. Yeah, Burns goes for the takedown after he gets stunned. And then, another big right hand. Burns sits down multiple times, and Morales gets the finish. Exciting finish to the fight. Wasn't the most entertaining the whole time, but it was relatively short, right? So, like I said, I'd like to see Morales fight somebody in the top 5. Maybe somebody moving down from the top, from the top 5 to the top 10. I think that'd be fun. Let's give him maybe another veteran or somebody who's still not at, more on the tail end of their career, maybe not necessarily coming to the end like Burns is, but a guy that's a good challenge for him. Let's not burn 2 challengers with the next fight. Fun fight for the ending. So go back and watch it. End it fast. Don't have to waste a lot of your time. Mairon Santos taking on Sodiq Yusuff. Now, this one did go the distance, but, and for the most part, so this is me being kind of a pain in the ass, but I was kind of bored while I was watching it just because it was repetitive. It's not that what was happening wasn't that exciting, although it kind of wasn't. It was just, look at the volume, right? I'm about 19-9 for striking numbers in the first round, 16-10, and then 15-7. So not a lot is landing. It's not the most active. Anyway, Santos using kicks up the middle into the legs as he circles. Just a lot of movement and missed shots. I would lean towards Santos in the first round for the strikes that he landed, but I don't know. If these striking numbers are correct, then Yusuff probably should have won this first round. I just thought Santos landed more, so I had it 10-9 Santos. Second round, Yusuff landing some hard low kicks for his own, and then Santos landing a hard head kick. Yusuff kind of just ate that shit. And then in this round, I got to give the damage to Santos. I felt like he landed a lot more damage early on. The repeated movements, he's coming out on top regularly. So 16-10 for striking numbers in favor of Santos. I gave it to him, so I had him up 20-18. Last round, Yusuff digging the low kicks, not overly not overly pressing forward this round, making Santos engage with him, right? Because Santos was doing a good job of circling and then countering, maybe using the pressure that Yusuff was putting on him against him. So Yusuff slowed it down, still pressuring forward, but not opening up, not throwing throwing anything out there, not trying to blitz and give Santos a chance to counter. So kind of a slower output from Santos, but apparently Santos outstruck him this round. I thought there was enough control time in the clinch for Yusuff, 1 minute and 19 seconds. I thought that he outstruck him. I thought he outdamaged him. I guess I'm wrong. Yeah, I had it 29-28 in favor of Santos, but I gave Yusuff that last round. What is going on with me lately? Let's see here. Yep. Eric Colon only gave that first round to Yusuff, and everybody else gave all 3 rounds to Santos. Okay. Like I said, I was that last round I was on the fence anyway, but each round I wasn't super excited about that one. Anyway, let's move on. No need to dwell on that. Nursulton, Ruziboev versus Dustin Stoltzfus. Man, Stoltzfus looks exactly like Tom Hardy. Here, you want to see an example, guys? Here. Look at that shit. Tom Hardy, Justin Stoltzfus. They look so much alike, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, that's Logan Marshall Green. That's another guy where he looks like him. Maybe he just looks like a lot of people. But anyway, Dustin Stoltzfus looks a lot like Tom Hardy. Ruziboev landing that hard low kick. He's so much taller. It's hard to believe that he goes down in weight even from this. Like that's crazy. They trade shots. It's close on both sides. Like when they trade shots, it's really close because they're both kind of landing the same thing. But Stoltzfus lands his right hand, dropping him, jumps on the guillotine, gets on it tight, gets mount from it for a moment there, has the guillotine tight, but Ruziboev kind of just stays calm. I don't know. I don't think the angle was correct for Stoltzfus. It was hard for me to tell from those angles exactly where the arm was sitting, but it didn't look like Ruziboev was really in danger. So because of that, when they get back up and trade, Ruziboev starts outlanding him again. I mean, outlanded him 13-5. I thought he'd outdamaged him in that round after he got knocked down, so I had a 10-9 for Ruziboev. Second round, Ruziboev landed that hard spinning heel kicks, but kind of blocked. It's just really loud on the arms. They trade, and then Ruziboev lands a nasty uppercut. Stoltzfus landing a hard hook, staggers him, gets the takedown. Stoltzfus ends up on bottom yet again, and Ruziboev landing some ground and pound again. Hard round to score. Looking at the striking numbers, again, I didn't think they were that one-sided, 11-2 in favor of Ruziboev, and the control time about even, 213-155 in favor of Stoltzfus. I gave this to Ruziboev, but I felt like this was a hard round to score. At 2018, last round, Stoltzfus kicking the legs out, landing that right hand. Ruziboev gets back up, as he's taking that shot. Stoltzfus is waiting a lot on his activity, and he has slowed quite a bit, and Ruziboev is getting out in front early in this round. But then Stoltzfus gets a takedown, can't do much with it, ends the round, not landing much. Again, this round, I thought Ruziboev won this one too, but it shows that Stoltzfus, I don't think so. Anyway, I had Ruziboev 30-27. Mike Bell and Eric Colon gave that first round to Stoltzfus. Tony Weeks gave all 3 rounds to Ruziboev. They thought that guillotine was in tighter. That's understandable, but from the vantage point that we had, we can kind of tell that Ruziboev was doing just fine, and then he got back up. We also know that he was knocked down partially from a headbutt. Hard to tell that on the sidelines immediately. Melquizael Costa taking on Julian Erosa. This one was a blast. Costa landing kicks to the legs and the body as Erosa tries to walk his way into range, just walking through her freaking wood chipper. Huge Superman punch and a big head kick staggers Erosa, but as usual, Erosa stays up, fires back, landing a huge left hook of his own. Costa just pretty much at will, landing right? But he's not putting a lot out there. He's landing hard shots when he wants to. He's just not doing a ton of volume. And then Erosa is waiting a lot, trying to land back. This round kind of is a wash after he got rocked because he was getting his wits back about him. He gets outstruck 32-10. But you could tell that he wanted to just stand there, swing really hard, and land something. So, this round obviously went to Costa, but it looked like it could get interesting, and it did as the fight went on. Second round, Costa had blood on his left foot. I think he hurt his left foot. More active this round with the punches and putting a lot out there, landing hard at just like he did in that first round. Erosa getting the takedown, falling into a guillotine, not in danger. He didn't really, then he didn't do any damage when he got down there. So like kind of a wash for both guys. Erosa taking all these shots and still pressing forward, finding some success with elbows in tight, but he's just not landing as much of a thud on his swinging hooks like he was in the first, like he was trying to do and land in the first round. Closer round, and the pressure from Erosa is making Costa a little tired, but Erosa looks more labored. Both guys landing clean. I leaned towards Costa because I felt the bigger shots went to him early, and he outstruck him anyway, 33-23. So clearly, in my opinion, I have Costa up 20-18. Last round, a bad optics for Erosa. He's hunched over, moving kind of slow, even though he's landing. And he did, like, the striking numbers were almost dead even in this, 37-36 in favor of Costa. So the very close round as far as that. And then the pressure from Erosa is crazy. He's still pushing forward. He's still landing, and Costa lands, but Erosa takes this round, with 60 seconds left. It looks like, again, the striking numbers are so close, it looks like dead even. It's just that pressure from Erosa. I felt the damage was damn near even. So I gave the last round to Erosa. Looking at the scorecards, Ginger Camilo wasn't paying attention and gave that second round to Erosa and gave the last round to Costa. That makes no sense. If you thought that Erosa, wow, the rhyming here. If you thought that Erosa won that second round, there's no reason you think Costa should have won the third round. The logic behind that makes no sense. That's a horrible scorecard. Chris Lee, Ron McCarthy both saw it how I did. It doesn't necessarily mean it's right. It's just the way I explained it. That's how I saw it, so that's fine. It's just this Janitra Camilo one is fucking me up. Because if you look at what Erosa did in the second round, right, getting outstruck by 10 strikes, do you think he landed the biggest strikes in this round? I don't think so. The head strikes were 25-11, so it wasn't that. Was it the pressure? He had 2 minutes of control time, so he was pushing him up against the cage and stuff. But he had, a minute of control time in the last round, so it wasn't that much different. And the striking was so much closer. What do you think in that second round that Erosa was doing that he didn't do better or the same in that third round that really gave Erosa the second round? So that's a horrible scorecard. We don't need to belabor the point. It's the internal consistency. Even if you're consistently off, even if you, so from fight to fight, consistency is also important. Having a consistent scoring criteria, the judges see the same things from the same. Seeing the same thing in different fights and giving them the same weight and score. That's important. But in the same fight, there should be no variance. What the fuck are you looking for? God dang, man. Matheus Camilo versus Gabe Green. This fight was fun too. Camilo taking the center, waiting for Green to enter, throwing hard low kicks, swinging with huge hooks. Green, after feeling the strikes of Camilo, starts to press forward. He got hit, so he's like, okay, I got to press him forward, get him to the cage, maybe get some takedowns. Camilo gets him down with 50 seconds left, and I had him taking this round. Camilo outstruck him 12-7, had some more control time, a minute and 26 seconds to the 9 seconds from Green. I thought this was clearly his round. Second round. I thought this was over early. Camilo working for the takedown, realizing the easiest way to win this fight is just to control him. He found so much success with it in that first round, so he gets him down there. Camilo using the Cedric mounted triangle, so my coach does this shit all the time. Gets to the mount, forces the opponent to come up, and by doing that, when whatever side they turn to, you wrap your leg around, right? So you get it underneath the armpit, and you get the mounted triangle, and it's such a high percentage finish. Anyway, he gets this tight triangle mounted, falls to his back with it, and it like Green's head is turning bright purple. It looks like it's over, but Green pulls his head out and then gets to the back of Camilo, and gets his own rear naked choke. Even in that round, that was a huge comeback. Impressive, very cool. Gabe Green doing the damn thing. That is it. Like I said, I know a lot of people out there didn't watch this, and that's okay. I don't think it's a necessity. Like, you don't have to go this. I don't think you're going to miss out on too much if you don't. But I think if you have the time, or if you want to throw this on in the background, there was enough action in these fights to keep things interesting for the 2.5 hours that'll be on there. Plus, you can always skip through the commercials and the boring stuff if you want. So anyway, if you like this kind of thing, subscribe to the channel. That way you know this video is coming out. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and make it to the end. Love you guys. Have an amazing week. Peace.